What's up, YouTube? I'm Nathan Kenyon. I am a chapter president of Mumford High School DECA, and this is my path to ICDC class. You're like, well, what if you don't get ICDC glass? Well, this is my process of trying to get to ICDC glass. This is going to be a multiple part series, so make sure you like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see next. But let's get straight into it. So first, we got to research the prompt. And prompt is right here on the screen, wherever I put it. There we go. So I'm going to put it right here. We have to research this, and we're just going to go through the process of seeing what it's like to go, and then this is part we're researching. So let's go to my computer and let's do some researching. You probably know that you have to research your DECA project, right? But the problem is nobody tells you an idea that's actually interesting. That's what you have to find on your own. And the problem is mine isn't just picking a random business topic. You have to find something that is interesting, realistic, and can be explained clearly to judges, right? You're looking for something with a real problem, a real customer, and a real solution. So we're going to look at many different things that we'll get to later on. But first you want to make a checklist. So this will be your checklist. So I like to look at my indicators first. And I can put that on the screen in editing. That's probably what I'll do. Put the indicators. Go by that on how to build your presentation. But first, is there a real problem? Can you explain the... I don't want to say, I'm trying to look for a good word here. The main points in 30 seconds. Would your target audience actually care? Can you find the data for it? Can you make it creative? And can you connect it to the competition? Research is where your project starts becoming a winning one. The better the research, the easier it is to build a presentation. Your judges will remember. That is key for ICDC. SCDC, you might qualify, but for ICDC, it's got to be memorable. So let's get started. So first, I like to hop on Google to see. As you can see, that's where we are right now. And look at a lot of this stuff. So first, for my prompt, we got to look at the average net worth or average value of a small business, right? Where you give them a more figure example, a better figure, right? So, but we need to use a specific example. So let's say they own a restaurant, for example, of a small restaurant. $500,000. Now, let's give it an exact location. That way we can take these key articles. So I like to use AI. I don't copy AI verbatim. I like to use it for research tools because it will save you a lot of time. So you want to copy a lot of these links. Now you always want to check if it's reliable research. And a lot of the times it is, like Investopedia. That's pretty reliable. But we need to give it a location where it can pull data. So let's say where I'm from, the Memphis area. Let's say Memphis, Tennessee. Okay. And then we can look at, we can pull all these links. Now, I know what's reliable around here. And then you want to read and take the important data and write it in a Google Doc. So like go and scan through articles, put it in there, and write it in a Google Doc. Don't copy AI verbatim. It depends on, so you got to give it some kind of operational status, the gross revenue. And here's what I would recommend. I'd recommend talking to one, in this case a restaurant owner. For example, there's resources like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can even call a restaurant and say, hey, I'm working on a DECA competition. I would like to speak to the owner, if possible, to get these numbers to help figure out this. Small restaurants should have a high success rate with doing that. And that's what, after we scan through these articles, that will be the next step. Okay, guys. After going through this article, I realized it was trying to sell me a service. You have to be very careful of that, right? So if it's trying to sell you a service, like in this case, this delivery service, you got to be very careful. Is it actually giving me real numbers and information, or is it just trying to sell me a product? So you got to differentiate between the two, pull the stuff that's legit, because sometimes there is legit stuff in articles like these, but you just gotta double check. So double check that when you're reading articles and all that good stuff. Our research is done, kind of. You're going to be doing some researching along the length of your project as well, but the base is done. I sped that up for y'all, or the bits that I did record, I'm going to speed it up for y'all just where y'all can see me type on the computer for a little bit. But next, like I said, how we need to talk to small business owners, we need to make a list. So let's talk to those small business owners and let's make a list. Let's go back to the computer. Okay, so in this instance, we're going to initiate or use tools like LinkedIn to help us research. This will be very vital to the course of our project. So I'm going to censor a lot of names out just for their own privacy, but we're going to utilize LinkedIn. So we're here, as you can see here on LinkedIn. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff I block out due to people's privacy, especially the restaurant owners as well. So we're going to search up, can't even spell. We're going to search up restaurant owners. Okay, and if you put your location in here, it should have your generalized location. You want to find somebody who's been doing it for a while. And it does not have my location. You might have to put in your location. So let me put in my location. Obviously, censoring this. You want to obviously send them a connection. Let them know, hey. And you might have to change your location to bigger areas within you know, within your, like if you live in a small town, you might have to flip it to the big city by you, which is a good tool to have. And guys, sometimes LinkedIn might not work. Okay, it just might not work at times, and that's okay. There's more than one tool. So let's go to, you can use tools like Facebook, for example, right? I'm going to give you one good example of a restaurant in my area that uses Facebook. All right, so, well, I mean, I won't show you just for, I'm not going to show you the person, but sometimes you got to use tools like Facebook in order to get the result you want. That's why there's Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn. You can even use Instagram if you have to, TikTok as well. Use the tools you have to your advantage. That's going to be the biggest thing. Use the tools you have. Schedule it, write it down, and write down the information they give you. So when I go talk to these people, I'm not going to record these conversations, but I am going to write down the information that they give me in order to help me with my project or my competition. This will this whole step is very vital for your project. This could be the difference of you qualifying at SCDC or at your association career development conference to not qualifying at all. So research, research, research. And make sure you put in the effort. Don't go to ChatGPT and just copy everything down. Put in the effort, do it yourself. That's going to be way more rewarding, especially here in DECA. Now, don't copy it verbatim, but you can use it to get certain information because it's going to be your best bet on certain things. Right? So we're going to use, that was part 2, finding business owners. Go to part 3, make sure you got all your information. So now we need to go organize all of our information. Okay, so after you have done researched all that information, we need to organize it. I personally do mine in a Google Doc. You can write yours down on a piece of notebook paper, whatever is most convenient for you. Now, I travel a lot. I go to a lot of different places. Online is the best for me. On paper might be best for you. You might learn better from writing it down, etc. because you do have to remember it up here. This has been Path to Glass Part 1. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see y'all for Part 2.